other artists have played that not a lot of people, well, some people aren't aware of.
Well, there was a really strong friendship between J.J. Cale and Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton. If you listen to Eric Clapton's early work, you can definitely hear the influence. Songs like "Lay Down, Sally," "Cocaine." I believe "Cocaine" is actually a J.J. Cale original.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think "After Midnight" is also a J.J. Cale original.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was definitely a very, very strong camaraderie and friendship between the two. And sadly, J.J. passed away, I think, in 2013 or 14.
Yeah, no, I do remember. I'm a big Clapton fan. I'm a fan because I just look at him as like the most influential person in rock and roll, at least among white guys. Put it that way. Because he started playing that music, in England, and people. I remember reading his biography, and people were like, Clapton is God, like going crazy, and he's thinking, hey, I'm just playing a song from like 1945, just that white people have never heard it before,
Right. Well, he was very instrumental in sort of creating a resurgence of blues music, both in the sort of the Delta blues from the South, and after the war, the inner city, like Chicago brand of blues.
Yep. So, Buddy Guy, they're all worship at the feet of Buddy Guy and Muddy Waters, right?
Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters. I mean, B.B. King was a good friend of Eric Clapton's, and I respected the fact that he always paid tribute. He always named people and mentioned them by name. Yeah, and absolutely. Would absolutely give them their props for for being visionaries.
Yeah, hey, let Duane Allman have all the good parts on the Layla album. I mean, come on.
That's right.
Not
That's
all
right.
The good
Derek
parts,
the Dominos.
A lot of them. Yeah. So who are your influences? Who did you? When I was a kid, before we had all the technology, I would lay on my bed and I would put two speakers across from each other, and I would lay my head between the speakers and listen to music. Now, if you were going to lay your head between those speakers, who were you listening to back then?
Back then, when I first, decided I wanted to become a guitar player, my first lesson, I said I want to play like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, to me, like at a certain point in my life, was the absolute, without question, the king of music for me. So he was one. I was born in the late '60s, so my influences span the '60s up through the '80s. I mean, a lot of people have influenced me from a lot of different, genres of music and different styles of music. Jackson Browne is Jackson Browne's lyrics absolutely, slay me. More currently, probably my number one go-to guy is a guy named Jeff Tweedy from a band called Wilco. Oh, yeah, I know Wilco. Wilco's a special
Germany,
band.
Is that their song?
Impossible Germany is one of theirs. It's a later hit. They were born out of a sort of a new genre of music called alt country back in the early '90s, and the members of Wilco and the members of another band called Sunvolt were in a band called Uncle Tupelo, and they sort of ushered in this new era of alt country. So they're a big influence on me. A lot of the '80s music that came from the UK, like Squeeze, Echo and the Bunnymen, the college radio from the US in the '80s, like REM, The Replacements, were also big influences on me. REM, Murmur was in constant rotation for me. So there's no shortage. I'd be hard pressed to ever give a top 5 desert island list of 5 albums. It would be impossible for me to do. I mean, a lot of music's a big influence on my writing. Actually, I think of songs that could fit, certain chapters in my book. And that's the way I do it. It reminded me of a phrase, and I think I shared this with you, but I said the wrong person. I heard an interview with Greg Allman.
and he was talking about someone who was one of his first influences, and I sadly forget who it was, but the line he used, which I love, was he played that music. He played that album so many times. He played that record white. So he just kept playing it so much. But that's it. That's the creative spark, right there. You hear these things, but I think the difference is with people like yourself is everybody. I mean, every kid wants to play the guitar, right? We're all playing the air guitar. We're all, dreaming about being a rock star or just,
right.
singing on stage. What makes you different? How come you're up on stage and playing music and recording music now, and the thousands and millions of other people who dreamed of doing that aren't?
It's a great question. What makes me different? I think that one reason could be that I was single a very long time, and I had the time to really practice again and work on scales and run through songs and try to get songs to perfection. My interpretation, my presentation of those songs, wanted to be perfect. I've also, what makes me different is that I'm fully aware and recognize that my life will never be in front of 80,000 screaming fans at a stadium, but what's very much within reach for me is to play little gigs at little places or corporate events or events that are in people's homes where I can do my thing and present the music that I think will be well received by my audience. And so I guess I'm doing things that are within reach. The notion that, I mean, even if I was a younger man, I would not have been able to step before 80,000 people and do that. That's the top quarter of 1% that can do that.
Well, you got to know. You got to know what you're able to do or what you want to do. I think that's I guess in the manuals that will be called defining your goal. Right. I mean, that's what I tell my financial advisor clients. Let's define your goal. Where do you want to be? And that's good. And then you work towards achieving that goal. Correct. So I really like that. I really like that a lot. How long did it take for you to start getting gigs? I mean, how long did it take for you to get up there in front of people and, get hired, basically, as a musician?
Well, it's been something resembling a slow burn. My first gig was Thanksgiving Eve 2003 in my hometown of Greenwich, Connecticut. And for a while, it was more a matter of just the odd occasion where someone might have had a need for somebody to come in and play music for them. And then probably right around 2010, I had been hired by, we'll call it a Fortune 10 company, to go up and play at their Leadership Development Center.
Nice.
And that got me thinking about how to get more gigs like that. And I started becoming more aware and bringing myself up to speed with social media and what could be possible by putting my name out there to be found by event planners, meeting planners, corporate corporate folks who might want to bring me on for that kind of a thing. And that has sped up the acceleration of getting bigger gigs and more frequent gigs.
Wow, see, the one thing that sticks out from that, and now this is the third guest in a row that has said the same thing, and it's sort of they did it without realizing it, and that is embracing technology. I'm obviously the same, but all of our listeners should know. I mean, you have to embrace the new technology. You have to do the social media. You have to do all of it. You just do, and don't be intimidated by it. Okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to do a live song for us, which is really a treat.
I am.
Is that correct? Yeah. All right. Do you know what you're going to play? I bet you
do.
Could you tell us?
Absolutely. It's a song called California Stars, and it's by Wilco. It's off the album that they did with Billy Bragg called Mermaid Avenue, and it's originally a rearranged Woody Guthrie song, actually.
Okay. All right. That sounds great. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a commercial break. Going to give Mike a chance to get his guitar set up, and when we come back, we'll hear from Mike singing a live song.
Facilitate financial transactions for a fee. That is what we call the VIG. Enter into the thrilling financial crime world penned by John-Nuckel, author of the Rector Street series. Tweet @John-Nuckel. Take me to the #Rector Street series for an entry to win a copy of the VIG. Pin the tweet and tell friends for a chance to win the series in paperback or ebook.
Williams. Even though I never knew my father, Hank Williams, his legacy taught me the meaning of lending a helping hand. That's why I support the Orphan Foundation of America. OFA is committed to providing education, mentoring, and a workplace readiness for thousands of teens aging out of the foster care system. With the help of OFA's support programs, these young people can go to college and trade school, graduate, and make the leap from foster care to success. To learn how you can help, visit orphan.org.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Mike. How are you?
I'm well.
Okay. I thought we lost you, or maybe I lost. You know, I have these. I think I had a senior moment there, but that's okay. So we're back. We're ready to go. You ready to let it rip?
Absolutely.
Let's go.
All right. This is California Stars.
Lay my head tonight on a